Hey, how you doing out there? And welcome into the Monday Minutia in Uncle Steve's Lounge. This is your Uncle Steve. I am here to discuss the Atlanta Falcons the day after. I hope no one jumped off a bridge. I hope no one did anything to harm themselves. We did lose a game. We lost it by 3. And the whole world asks now, what do we do about our kicking situation? Is it as doom and gloom as everyone says, or was this just one bad game? So that's what we do here in the Minutia. We try to find out 24 hours later after the game, where is your fandom after a tough loss? Come on in, get you something to drink, sit down, chill out for a little bit, and we'll talk about it.
You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time.
Welcome into the lounge. This is your Uncle Steve. How y'all doing today on a Monday? Today is the first edition of the Monday Minutia for the 2025 season. We appreciate you all coming in with us. Don't forget, if you're coming in on YouTube, hit that like button for me. If you're on Facebook, you can do the same. And in that little love heart thingamajig they got in Twitter, if you love the video and love what you're listening to, go ahead and hit that button for me. I appreciate you all. Had a great discussion afterwards yesterday, trying to see how everybody was feeling. That instant reaction, as opposed to the take your time, go to sleep on it, come back, and now let's see how we are feeling. And that's what really the meaning of the Monday Minutia is, just to kind of see where we are one day later. I am pretty much in the same place as I was yesterday. While there's no description of how you can feel. I told people this prior to the game, and I feel the same way after the game. The first game of the year is probably the most pressure-packed for the organization, and especially the organization, all 31 organizations that didn't win the Super Bowl. Because if you think about it, and I've said it several times, hopefully you remember, everybody except Philadelphia came up short last year. So as the offseason happens, you have this, you cut some players, you bring on free agents. If you have any trades, you do some trades. If you have any coaching changes, you do your coaching changes. You go through the draft. You pick up what you think might be the future for your team. You go through the OTAs, the rookie mini camps, all that good stuff. And then we finally get to preseason, where you can see the guys actually out on the field doing their thing. And all of this culminates in kickoff week, which was yesterday. And it's hard to not – it's easy to overreact. But it's harder to kind of, jump right back into it the next week. If you're a Falcons fan, you remember that nasty taste in your mouth last year at the Benz. Yes, it wouldn't have mattered. Tampa Bay won their game, so they won the division last year. But you remember that nasty taste in your mouth, that Bryce Young shredding you up, and we coming up a bit short. So now fast forward to yesterday at around 1 o'clock. Here we go again. Tampa Bay, team that we're going to probably fight for the division. And we come up a little short. So it's kind of hard. I know the easy thing for everyone to say is, same old Falcons, same. I mean, is it? Last year we beat Tampa Bay twice. That can't be the same. So maybe Tampa put more emphasis and put more things into it. Listen, that was a great game. If this was the outside looking in, that was a great game yesterday. If I'm on the outside looking in Pittsburgh Jets game, I'm saying, that's a great game. Can't say that to Jets fans. Jets fans say the same old, same old. But if you're coming out on the short end of the stick, no one can tell you that this just wasn't the worst game ever. Who is the worst kicker in the history of the NFL and all of that. Now, in the moment, my kudum actually went down yesterday because at a 44-yard kick, you're supposed to make. Matter of fact, if you come into training camp as a brand new kicker, they probably start you at the 45-yard line. Say, okay, can you kick this? And if you can't kick it, you're probably not going to make the team. So the fact that he missed it and he pulled it so far to the right, I got to find him. Where I was sitting at the game, I couldn't see the angle of what was going on. Matter of fact, if you would have told me beforehand, I would have thought he hit it. But, I mean, that was pretty bad. And especially for the first game. Wasn't a game winner, but definitely would have put us in overtime. And seemed like we had a little bit momentum going in. But, boy, there are a whole lot of things to talk about prior to getting to Coup yesterday. We brought up a few of them, but there's more. And also, we'll take a quick list at the free agent kickers. Raheem did say they'll probably bring in some vets, kind of like Buffalo did yesterday. Their kicker, Tyler Bass, is out on IR. They brought in old man Matt Prater, and Matt Prater, he ended up winning a huge game for Buffalo yesterday. So we're going to talk about a little bit of this, a little bit of that with the Falcons. We can sprinkle around to the NFL if you want to, but obviously the focus is that. And I just want to know, I got to know, in a nutshell, where is your fandom level after a tough loss? I'm not saying 1 to 10. Just tell me how you're feeling after yesterday's loss. Are you one of those that will say, you know what? And this is the laziest line, same old Falcons. Was it really? Was the quarterback play the same? Was I know someone said, well, the losses are the same. Yeah, but was that the same team? Was that the same defense? Was that the same play at quarterback? I don't know. I have an opinion about it. I want to hear yours. So we're going to go right into the chat. And again, I appreciate everyone joining us as y'all come in. Make sure you hit the like button for me. If you can. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. We are marching forward. Hopefully we can get to 1,700 in the next couple of weeks, and then we can move it on from there. Big John Higgins is in the house. What's going on? He said, good afternoon, Uncle Steve. What's happening? Well, I didn't want Koo because of inconsistent last year. Now it looks like it's inconsistent this year as well. Offensive coordinator got to do better. Kevin, what's up, Kelvin? Kelvin says, still rise up. I'm cool with that message too. Big John says, I told Smitty, talk about Smitty or Smitty Sports Machine. Y'all make sure y'all check him out when you get an opportunity to. He said, I told Smitty the same thing about Koo and this offense coordinator. We can get rid of Koo, but that offense coordinator, I don't know about him. He's got to do better than this first week. And those are snapshots. Look, 1/17th of a season does not make a whole year. But it's fair to say those are some concerns that you would have. I get that. He also says the defense will be fine. They played well, just should have kept a spy on the quarterback. That's the easy thing to say. But you take a spy, you take somebody out of the coverages, you're opening up for the tight end. You already see their wide receivers were balling, whether they're rookies or veterans or not. Spy, it's not that easy. Not that easy to just say take somebody out and just leave him dedicated to Baker. Baker ran some. He didn't run like 12 plays. He just ran some key third downs when they needed him. Coach's Corner, Dre in the house. What's up? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in here. He said, when dealing with the Falcons, I have to remember that I was spoiled by the years of 09 to 17. Like we haven't always been trash, so I don't even get upset anymore. It's so weird because, which that was our heyday, per se, from the time Matt got here in 08 right up to 17. So, I mean, if I add in the years of despair, because here's the thing, and this isn't ageism. I'm not trying to say I know more because I was back then. I'm not going to that route. I'm not trying to play that game. But I am saying I think I have a lot more stored misery. And I have seen some horrific Atlanta Falcons teams in my lifetime. And that performance yesterday was not one of a horrific Atlanta Falcons team. It's a team that made some mistakes. It's a team that has some flaws. But I'm not willing to say, you know what, throw it all away and start over. Except for maybe the kicking spot. David Starks in the house. What's going on? How you doing, Dave? He said, what's up, Steve? I ain't going nowhere, but Koo needs to. And if this offense doesn't get better, Robinson can follow him on the way out. As you can see, I'm still furious. And listen, this is the same Zach Robinson, y'all. And again, it's fair. So I'm not defending him. I'm just bringing it up. It's the same Zach Robinson that started off kind of clunky last year, and then by week 10, we were rolling and rolling. Had one of the best offenses in the league. So I want to make sure that the knee jerk isn't. Let me see. It's okay to have the knee jerk, but just when we put it in a permanent sense, I just say be careful what you ask for. Be careful. And maybe, y'all, maybe, just maybe, Tampa Bay's pretty good. That could be the one thing missing in this whole equation. You may have beat a pretty good team yesterday. We never think of that. We just think we're supposed to beat them. Maybe Tampa's pretty good. Millie Mills in the house. What's up, Millie Mills? How you doing, brother? My other brother from another mother is in the house. 95 North Falcons. In here. Y'all make sure y'all check him out, man. I mean, awesome content. I still think he's doing the after game Bleacher Report. And please, if you are, please make sure you put it up there. I think he's still doing that. And he does the Wednesday show with my friend Bro Talk doing their thing on Wednesdays to update you on everything that's going on there. Make sure y'all give him a sub and a like if you get a chance. He says, not all is lost in the loss. Other than Koo's leg, still very optimistic in this ball club. And after I kind of go down the list, I'll mention some things that I feel good about. DJ in the house. What's going on, DJ? How you joining us? King Richie is also in here. He says Zach Robinson to take the training wheels off the quarterback and the playbook. Check him out. Listen, King, I agree. And I'm glad that a lot of people, of course, whose moment is going to ring in everyone's head as it should. But there were a lot of times during that game that I felt like, man, especially at the beginning, King, when we went right down, scored, I'm sure Tampa was like, uh-oh, not giving up on the game, but they were like, uh-oh. And then we stopped them 2 times in a row, 3 and out. And I said to myself, even if the script said, run this, run that, you had an opportunity to kind of put a foot on their neck a little bit. And really, you didn't do another thing until near the end of the second quarter when you tied it with a field goal. So, I mean, there are moments there that 4th and 1 in the pistol. Listen, the wide zone, everybody might as well stop. The wide zone is what they do. That's their bread and butter. The only problem is everybody else in the NFL knows it. So until they change that, that's on them. But that's what they do. And that little swing screen pass. Millie says, I don't care about Koo. I really don't care if we won or lost. Only thing I was looking for, Penix legit or not, and all I can say is we got us one, y'all. I think that's the consensus coming out of this game. If you're coming out of this game as an Atlanta Falcon fan and you want to know were those last 3 games kind of flukish or was Michael Penix ready? When Michael Penix's name was called to do his thing, he did it. And I'm going to tell y'all something. That game should have never came to Koo. That pass that he threw in the end zone prior to the Koo attempt was dead on the money. And unfortunately, all of our big-time receivers were out. But go back and look at that. Please go back and look at that pass. I'm sure everybody's talked about it. Go look at that pass. If Hodge keeps running and turns his head slightly, matter of fact, he probably could have coaxed a PI out of the guy if he was clever. But again, that's not his usual role. But Penix is more than legit. DJ said Falcons need to sign me as their kicker. Brother, you probably do better. Even though I will say, if y'all have been ever to the College Hall of Fame, that little field goal thing, man, you know your ego goes up there and says, oh, man, I can hit that. I missed every kick. If y'all hit that kick at the College Football Hall of Fame, let me know. If y'all been there before, y'all know what I'm talking about. I missed every time. It seems so easy. Atlanta Bird Gang's in the house, man. What is check out Tidy, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on YouTube, some of the best Atlanta Falcons content out there. I saw his show briefly last night. You know, he'd be coming on as a brother be trying to go to sleep. But I did peek in, shared some of the same thoughts I thought about the game, man. That's the same stuff. But y'all make sure y'all check him out, man. Hit a like for him. Hit that subscribe button if you go over there. He said 44-yard field goal at home in a dome makes it 3 times as bad. I'll change that for you. Make it 10 times as bad. But you're right. You can't blow those things. And here's the crazy thing, right? Last year, there was a patented excuse. His hip bothered him. I don't know whether they just rested it. I don't know whether he had minor surgery. I don't know what it is. But when he clanked that extra point, and where we were sitting, it was, you could hear it like clunk. And I thought when it hit, I didn't even see where the ball went. I thought he missed it, but it, I guess, went in for the extra point. And I said, uh-oh. So that made me even madder when I saw that pass prior to the last play, that we have a quarterback that can get it there. Raheem said today in his press conference, and I know some of the diehards don't want to hear it, said Matt Ryan was great. Said Matt Ryan can't make some of them throws that Penix is making. That's not hate. That's somebody who's been around the block to say, oh, this is something different. It's not your average quarterback. Bobby D in the house was. He says always hurts due to the consistent letdowns, but it's the growth we should be expecting. And again, you're correct, because we did put 4 young guys on the field. And here's the crazy thing. I've heard this all day. Man, James Pierce didn't do nothing. Jalen Walker didn't do nothing. And I'm saying to myself, okay, y'all, did y'all expect them to have, 3 sacks apiece? 10 tackles for Walker? I mean, what were we expecting? This was their first time. This wasn't preseason. This wasn't a scrimmage. This is their first time. I'm not saying some rookies can't do it. We saw one for Tampa Bay show up for Tampa Bay yesterday. But come on now. I'm going to need some of us to give them a little bit of love, a little bit of weight. Rio Bravado, what's going on? He said he's feeling optimistic. I hear you. I hear you. Demetri says they showed Matt Prather, and I said this old man making kick while our kicker is kicking dust. I think the only reason Prather didn't have a job because he's just getting old. He might have just he might not have even wanted to kick anymore. Antoine, what's going on, man? He said, I feel like we are going to win next Sunday. I hope so. You don't want to have must games too early, but you do, man. I mean, this is definitely looking like it. Dre says, I love my team, but I don't let it get to me anymore. Not the same team, but we have the same issues that lead to a loss. Love my squad, but solely for entertainment. Now, I hear you. That's how you get it to where you won't lose your mind most of the time. David Starr says, I watched this game again, and I got even angrier with Robinson's play calling and overall game plan. Folks, that is my emphasis even before you get to Koo. A lot of what happened in that game should have never got to Koo. I got a super chat little sticker in here from my brother Dirty Fanatics United. What's going on? Steve, rise up. Y'all make sure y'all check out DFU. They usually come on. They were on yesterday after the game, checking them out over there, chasing the guys doing their thing. Y'all make sure y'all give them a listen over there and get them some love. Let me hit them a little thing right here. Let me see what we got.
You see kills up my spine every time I read your super chat. Oh, you know in my mind when you talk to Uncle Steve.
Boy, I try to tell you, bro. Y'all ain't nothing about that at the bar. Y'all don't know about that. I appreciate you, Chase. He said, King says, you right, because them Redmond years was, man, don't even remind me about Chris, man. But you know what, King? We brought him up. He was selling, and I don't want to say State Farm. He was selling insurance. Oh, man. But Brother Kibia is in the house. What's going on, brother? He said, yeah, listen, I know. Falcons in the Dust Bowl, December 21st. Listen, if that, I don't know yet, but if that, because that's so close to the holidays, that could be interesting. We might pop in there. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to call it out, but if we do, I definitely got to check you out, brother. Definitely got to come up there and check you out. Brother James is in the house. What's up, cuz? He said, I still have memories of those 60s Falcons. Listen, and so again, so you know, by making that statement, we've seen bad Falcons teams, and I'm here to tell y'all, despite the jump off the bridge, instant reaction, I want to yell and cuss out and be as mad as everybody else because Koo missed the field goal. I'm telling y'all, folks, that's better than them 30-0 wins. And the Falcons walked in the stadium back in the 70s, and you just knew they didn't have a chance. These are not those days. This was a match against a team that's been in the playoffs 4 straight years. And quite honestly, folks, we have to get to that level. In order for us to get to that level, these are the teams we got to beat. That's the bottom line. Dimitri says, talking about horrific Falcons teams. Remember our 07-08 seasons? We had some bum quarterbacks with Chris Redmond and Joey Harrington, and our head coach quit on us. And I remember that was just 07 now. Everybody trying to combine that. It was just, that 07 year. I don't even think they went into January by then. They might have got one game in. Yeah, that was a rough year. Bobby says, you still see some red and black next door in that air, brother. That's just me trying to smoke this black and gold. I hear you. Oh, man, bro, you crazy. Dre said, I'm not comparing this team with any of the past. I'm more so saying I'm tempering my expectations. Just enjoy it. No, I got you. I heard you loud and clear. No, I got you. I see what you're saying. Brother Jonathan Freeman is in the house. What's up, Jonathan? How you feeling? He said nobody's talking about Koo messing up kickoff, and they got the ball at the 40. You know what? Bingo. So somebody said they were talking about it in the press. Look, special teams had a horrible day yesterday. And you're absolutely right. We were sitting there at the thing, and I'm saying to myself, somebody didn't tell Koo or didn't practice with Koo about those type of plays. I'm like, dude, why are you squibbing the ball? That's like an automatic penalty. If you don't get it in that zone, they get it at the 40. So you let the team start at the 40? Which is crazy. I think we lucked up because I don't think they scored on that one. But, I mean, still. Like, I'm going to need you to pay attention. And then the coverage. The special team coverage. Are we staying in our lanes? Are we doing what we need to do, man? That punt return was ridiculous. In my opinion, I know he was trying to put them deep. But you got to put a little bit more air under there and let them boys get down there. But that was horrible. And then really, in retrospect, it's kind of crazy. You know, the kickoff after Penix scored the touchdown, and homeboy would have scored if Koo doesn't reach out there. But, like, think about it in retrospect. If we would have let him go ahead and score, Penix probably would have went down there and won the game because he would have had about 2 minutes and some odd seconds. He probably would have. All right? You know. But just something to think about. Dondre said, is Penix scared to throw over 10 yards? That doesn't have anything to do with Penix, Dondre. I hope you're watching. It's not about him being scared to throw. One thing that was going on was our offensive line was getting whooped. Vita Vea was going there. Vita Vea was literally stepping into I saw him every time. They tried to cover up with Bijan a couple of times because Chris Lindstrom was getting beat up yesterday. So it wasn't him scared to throw over 10 yards. You got to give him some time. And some of those longer developing plays is probably why Kyle Pitts, and shout out to Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts caught what they threw to him. Got to give him his love. Toddy says, I'm not as down on Zach Robinson as most people are, where there are some bad calls, sure. But Zach did well last year, even with a quarterback who went down mid-season. I think that's one of the things that I try to say. Listen, I am the first one to tell you that I was not crazy about some of the calls that they made. And if you think about it, look, when you lose, everything gets elevated. I'm telling you, had we won this game, people would talk about our time of possession. People would be talking about a whole different narrative. But we lost the game. So now all of a sudden, he's the worst play caller in the history of the NFL. I get it. That's all that angst from the offseason that everybody's just like, same old Falcons. But I just need people to take a step back. I need folks to just take that deep breath. It ain't over. Tampa Bay gonna play an angry Texans team next week, and we go to Minnesota. We could be tied next week. For all the bad feel walking out of the stadium, it could be worse. Winston Thornton in the house. What's going on, Winston? How you doing? Y'all make sure y'all check out our test on YouTube and on Facebook. Him and John Harris do their thing over there. They have a live show they do on Wednesdays. So y'all check them out. Make sure that y'all, they're on late night too. They got some of them hours as well. So please check them out over there. He said, what's going on, Unc in chat? Smash that like button. The phrase of the day is complimentary football or lack thereof. Well, you're right. But in order to have complimentary football, you also have to have people blocking for you up front. In fairness, Tampa Bay won the line yesterday. And it's kind of a wonder that we were in the game as much as we were. Tampa Bay's offensive line, and folks, they were a makeshift line too. Their offensive line stood tall, and their defensive line stood tall. And you could take all the stats and the numbers that you put on there, folks. I'm telling you, we did not win the line of scrimmage. And most people say it all the time. You got to win the line of scrimmage to win the game. And we did. Hey, Winston says, Sterling says, this is what happens when you don't play them in preseason. Play calling was bad on the offensive side of the ball. I'm going to disagree because I knew that was going to stand. And I'm not messing with you, Sterling. You're not the only one that says that. Everybody's saying preseason. Last year, I would argue that was the case. Last year, we looked stagnant. We looked stuck. It wasn't us being stuck yesterday. There were some plays made. We had a quarterback that could improvise. We did some things good on offense. It was the person calling the plays that was kind of getting on my nerves with some of the stuff. I don't think that had anything to do with preseason. For the most part, they look fresh. The defense did not do awful. Yes, we needed to take care of a couple of those touchdown passes. Yes, we need to, learning lesson for the safeties. Make sure you catch the ball. Those interceptions that you got to have. Got to reach up there and get those balls. You got to. But for the most part, no, I don't even think that had anything to do with it. Because for a team that didn't play preseason, we sure made Tampa struggle. Y'all acting like Tampa Bay was running up and down the field. They weren't. I don't know what game everybody else is watching. I think we did pretty well. We just had one or two plays less than they did. Excuse me. Willie Doc in the house. What's going on, Willie? He said, I know. I say it every time. The opening always puts me in such a good mood. Love those chords. And your channel is a bright spot in these YouTube streets. Brother, I appreciate you. Listen, we have a lot of talent out here in this Atlanta content creator space, and all I'm trying to do is just make my mark. I might do it a little different than everybody else do it. I might be a little bit more spry, and I might be the only one that's coming on here with old school songs that y'all can go back and say, hey, that sounds like this. Whoever my Falcons, hey, that's my team. You wanna hear news, wanna hear songs, then chill with Uncle Steve. Forever my Falcons. Hey, that's my... Hey, So I just I just trying to make you smile. So especially at times like today when people are not smiling. But I appreciate you, Willie, and always appreciate the support, brother. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you so much for the support you always give to us and everyone out here in the Falcon uh, content creator space. We really do appreciate that. King Richard says, why do you think Matt Ryan is so interested in Penix? He knows he can make throws that he couldn't. The one person who knows Penix is a good quarterback is a Hall of Famer like Matt Ryan. And remember about 4 years ago when we were going through all of the thingamajig with him getting traded to Indianapolis, actually 2022, when he got traded, and oh my God, giving away a legend, all this, and Matt probably was in his feelings and stuff like that. Matt knew it was almost over, and it showed a few days later in Indy when he got sat down for, what was the cat's name? I can't even remember the guy's name. What was the quarterback? Was it Notre Dame quarterback? He got sat down for in Indianapolis, and Jeff Saturday came in there. But anyway, and Matt, dude, you spend this much time in the city. Hey, come on now. Matt probably feel bad for us. And Matt also knows if we win something, man, his name will be brought up forever. Just like Mr. Vic. Congratulations on his first college win this weekend. So, it is what it is. Here's my buddy William Amy in the house. What's up, William Amy? William Amy said the coaching staff is horrible, man. He says Helms would play, he would pop someone across the middle of the field. Hey, man, I think William is gonna ride that boat for Helms all day, but I don't think Helms would have helped anything in that situation yesterday to help us win. But hope out to you. Miller says, if Penix goes out there next week and have a good game against Minnesota, then what would the purpose of not starting him against them last year? Either way, he was going to see that Minnesota defense. It's true. It's true. William Amy says, the Vikings ain't no good. The good team ain't no hold the good team. Ain't no hold. Sorry, you're going to have to clean that one up. I don't know what that means. DJ says, I might have to watch the Minnesota game tonight to see how they do. It's funny you say that. My son and I were sitting there talking about doing some self-scouting on that game ourselves. We do. Because you want to see what J.J. McCarthy looks like and how he's going to come out today. That's going to be a tough game. I think Chicago is one of them teams that you're like, okay, they got some pieces. Second year together, Ben Johnson got control of the offense. And, we'll see. David says the defense was fine outside the 2 lapses. Pierce Jr. got good pressure. Walker was good against the run. It just didn't show up in the stat sheet. Shout out to Watson Bowman. Let me tell you something. The young boys in the back, and you want to criticize Xavier Watts because he did make the interception a couple of times and stuff like that. But the majority of the time, Watts was where he was supposed to be. And then Bowman, give him pressure when his name was called. He went up, got the job done. First Falcon to get a sack, albeit a half sack with Diablo, who also had a great game yesterday. It's, it is what it is. William Avon says, can't close games out, missed tackle, special teams, not going to blame on Koo. It's a fair statement. There were a lot of things other than Koo that got it. But again, the big picture, that's the last thing everybody saw. I did just happen to get a alert here from Adam Schefter through ESPN. They say 2 different things. The Frisco, George Kittle is expected to be sidelined multiple weeks with a hamstring injury. And then Brock Purdy has a left shoulder and toe injury. And he's uncertain for the New Orleans game. At least that doesn't sound like he might be out for a while. The reason I say that because San Francisco is relatively early on the. I think they're early on the schedule. Double check. I'm saying that. Let me check when we play Frisco. We play Frisco. Yep. October 19th. So almost sounds like we may not see Kittle. We'll see. Them hamstrings are tricky. Southside Ricky in the house. What's up, Southside? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in here. Falcons Nation over everybody. There you go. All day. My brother James Antone in the house. How you doing, brother? He said, I'm listening to you over the road. Rise up. I thought we played a good game to win. Satisfied with Penix. All teams got improvements to make by tonight. I know if I like our chances with Minnesota. So another scout, James is gonna do his same thing. I hear you, James. We're doing the same thing. My brother Rusty is in the house. What's up, Russ? How you doing, my friend? He said, what's up, Steve? I would say most people are handling the loss well, but I've seen some emotional people on social media yesterday, but hopefully they relax. Anyhow, is week 2 a must win in your eyes? Now, I will say, I because I've seen Michael Penix seem like he's starting off a little better than Kirk last year. If y'all remember last year how Kirk started off game 1, you almost were like, oh, the quarterback play is not solid. I think if you have Penix as and I don't want to say as bad as we played, but we made a lot of mistakes. But as average as we played yesterday, that young man still put us on his back and kind of carried the Falcons to at least the lead. And dang near came back and won the game too. So I'm gonna do that self-scouting like everybody else, Rusty. I will tell you after I see this game tonight. Is that I hope that's not ducking out of the question. Let me see what Minnesota looks like, and then I'll tell you if it is. Because I will say this: if Minnesota comes out and looks like, they might not be the same team with McCarthy there, then it becomes a must win. If Minnesota comes out looking like the 14-3 team that they are, you might have to take that one on the chin. I kind of predicted we were going to lose that game anyway, so I'm definitely not going to lie and say, oh, man, we could beat Minnesota if they're looking like last year. Bobby D says, Youngway needs to stop hanging out in Magic City on Saturday night with Lemon Pepper Lou. You say Lou was over there helping him out? With Cashmere on the blue stage with the lemon pepper wings. One order for Youngway. Sterling says in one series, Elijah had some penalties. Yeah, a lot. But I'll say this. They only sacked Penix once. They affected Penix, but they only sacked him once. And that part of that had to do with athleticism, but it's not like Penix was 100% distressed, but they did put some pressure on him. Thank God for his athleticism. As I always talk about people, it's not about you being able to run up and down. Matter of fact, there was somebody I was listening to the radio station a little earlier in the afternoon, and one of the people was like, man, I'm going to need Penix to come up and run the ball some more. Run the ball. I say, for what? Not in those cases early. In the cases early, sometimes you run, but use that sparingly. If you're a quarterback and you can get around and stay in that pocket, and most of the time, if you give about 2 or 3 seconds, a great receiver will always get open. Now, unfortunately, by the time we got to the end of the game yesterday with no Drake, obviously no Mooney, Casey Washington. I'm going to ask y'all about Casey Washington, too. Casey Washington got a couple of passes yesterday. But I'm worried about that young man that it seems like every time he catch the ball, he get up and he seems to be a little hurt all the time. I'm not trying to deny the physicality of football. I'm not trying to say things like that don't happen. But, man, is he meant to take them hits? And he came up with a big catch. He came up with third down catch. So I'm gonna give him credit. But are y'all seeing that? Just want to know. Winston says Veal was getting folded like clothes fresh out the dryer yesterday. Oh man. Carl Thomas, what's up, Carl? He said, was good. He said, I see Penix winning the Falcons the Super Bowl soon, brother. When you got a good quarterback, you see things like that. Sterling also says Morris took his time out yesterday. They did a much better job in that for people looking for silver linings. He did a good job of time management in some of those situations yesterday. Much better. ATL Skateman in the house. What's going on? He said, hello, Uncle Steve. Falcons back to the grind. Absolutely. Let's get back to it. David says, I'm also worried about the health of our receiving corps. Yes. It'll be a long day if Drake can't go or is limited and Mooney is still a scratch. Now, the one thing I do like that, and I know they don't have to bring out the injury list until Wednesday, right? I think it's Wednesday. So the fact that they're not saying anything catastrophic, if you would have looked online yesterday, there were folks that had Drake out for the season, and then they came back yesterday and said he had a sprain. And yeah, it just depends on how much you can take. How much you can take in there. But yeah, I am concerned about this wide receiver corps. And will that unfortunately try to speed up Darnell's way back into the lineup? I don't know. ATL GA Faithful in the what's going on, man? Saw DC yesterday, man. We boy, I think we were living and dying with every play near the end, and it's something else, man. Y'all make sure y'all check him out too. He got a YouTube page out there as well. Make sure you check out ATLGA Faithful. He is about as down with the team as we could be. Millie says, I just wish people would stop crying for real. It's week 1. We play in the NFC. We're gonna be lit. We're gonna be all right. My bad. We're gonna be all right. It's no time to panic right now unless your fantasy team sucks. Let me tell you, I have 3 teams, and all 3 of them have a chance to win tonight because we got some Chicago Bears on the team, so we're gonna see what happens with that. But yeah, I'm the same boat, man. Can't just totally panic on week 1. Antonio Henderson is in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. And again, as y'all coming in, I see a lot of people have popped in. If you don't mind, if you can, hit that like button for me. If you go ahead on YouTube and on Facebook. And if you're on Twitter, hit the little heart button. Show somebody some love, like your Uncle Steve. We try to do this every Monday, the Monday Minutia, where we kind of, after taking a deep breath, kind of see what's going on with our Falcons. Antoine says, Watson Bowman played a great game. Those rookies are going to be special for us. And I still think Walker and Pierce are going to be fine. It kind of depends on what your game is. Listen, Tampa Bay, I'm not trying to say Tampa Bay is elite, but Tampa Bay is not a slouch either. So we didn't lose to a scrub team yesterday. Let's not act like they didn't have folks that were getting after it. So we just sometimes you just gotta say, hey, certain rookies might have showed up and others, and then next week it might be the flip way around. Watson Bowman got to deal with JJ and Hawkinson next week. So it might be a different story. Williams says Vikings not a bad team. They was in the wild card last year. Vikings not a bad team. And again, nobody's saying they're bad, but it is a difference when you have another quarterback, brother. You can't, sometimes you just can't plop in any quarterback and just throw it in there. We'll see. Hopefully they get it together, but hopefully they don't for us. William also says Watts got to get them interceptions. I mean, he does. It's not like he didn't try. Matter of fact, he times his jump like one step sooner he might have that interception. Caden Ellis had an opportunity to get a pick six right there at one of those times, man. Come on, y'all. Come on. Winston says 38 in the chat, 23 likes, man. Yeah, if y'all don't mind, please hit them likes for me. Smash that like button for great Falcons content. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Matt Town Dirty. What's going on, Matt Town? He said Koo gets blamed for his part still. Oh, of course. Nobody is taking anything away from what Koo should be blamed for. Yeah, Koo's got to hit that field goal. You would have said 55 yards. I might have said, okay, it maybe. But nah, 45 yard field goal, you got it. Shard says, any news on Drake London? The only news we got yesterday from Ian Rappaport was that he had a shoulder sprain. And it sounds like he might be day-to-day. Today, on Mondays, unless the coach knew that it was going to be something for a year or something, then he might mention it. But they aren't obligated to give injury reports until Wednesday. The Mans is in the house. What's up, the Mans? He said, yeah, right. Second highest paid kicker in the league, 4.4. You better make that kick. Paid too much to not who is done. Stop defending him. Who's defending him? Who's defending who? I think the only thing, maybe, I said it's not solely on Koo. And if you think about it, Dan, the man, if you think about it, we should have never even been in that situation where Koo was kicking that. Defense didn't stop them. They went right down the field. I think it was 5 plays. Horrible personal foul from Root, a row. So you really shouldn't even been in that situation. That's what we're talking about. Nobody's talking about making a 44-yard field goal. Of course you should get criticized for that. But there's no defending him. You might have heard that incorrect. Antonio said, heard you got nominated for Best Background Dancer at the MTV Awards for the Big Low video, man. I had such a ball doing that, man. Me and Low, we had a ball doing that. That was all right. That was all right, man. William Amy, still mad, said play calling is horrible. Michael Penix Jr. will get hurt with these long developing play callings. Earl Thompson, what's up, brother? He said, we may need some help. I said, we might. And matter of fact, while we're looking at that, Earl, let me bring up real quick when you talk about help. I wanted to show everybody where they're talking about the receivers. I'm sorry, talking about the kickers. There aren't that many kickers available now. This is Spot Track, so forgive me. They probably didn't update. Matt Prather is with the Bills right now, so for some reason they didn't update that. But when you start talking about kickers that are out there at the moment, you talk about good old Eddie Pinero, who we know can't hit field goals in our dome. Last time he was here, he was missing them left and right. Michael Badgley, I do remember him kicking some kicks at one time. Zane Gonzalez. I don't even know who Austin Seibert is. And then Cade York, I know he was with Cincinnati, but I think he did a lot of kicking with the Jets as well. There aren't a lot of people to choose from. So when I heard Raheem say they were going to go the veteran route and see if they can get somebody, kind of not seeming like he was ready to throw Lenny Craig out there. Not a vote of confidence. So we'll see how that goes. Miller Mills says Casey got a bad case of light skinish. Sometimes they tough and sometimes they soft, man. Poor Billy. Oh, Williams said get his block knocked off. He said I'm concerned about Casey watched it, but it is. I'm not making that up, y'all. I'm really not. I mean, am I making that up? I was seeing the same thing. Sean says, was the stadium sold out? It was loud in there. I don't think it was. I mean, well, let's put it this way. Despite when y'all go on Ticketmaster and y'all see all those tickets available, folks have already bought the seats. So for the most part, the majority of the seats are already bought. It's a matter of whether people are showing up. There are people there that just buy tickets and then resell them like that. But to answer your question, there were a lot of holes in the stadium, but I think it just goes back to Shard. Everybody's just ready to explode. We're ready for the next thing to happen. We were ready for the Atlanta to win. When you saw when Bijan took that thing to the house, man, that place erupted. And then when Michael Penix scored the touchdown, another eruption. So to your point, those are two of the loudest times I've heard in the Benz, period. But I don't think it wasn't capacity, put it that way. The most I've seen that stadium full in the last 2 years, sans college game. The Kansas City game last year was super packed. That's about the most packed I've ever seen the stadium. That Sunday night game last year, that was the most. DC says, I'd rather see what Blair can do and let Casey rest up. Well, we'll see. They didn't seem like Casey didn't come back, so I don't know. We'll see. Ron Thomas in the house. What's up? Dexter Owen, man, what's going on, Dexter? Good to see you, brother. He said we got to cut Koo like yesterday. The last 3 years, he has cost us at least 10 games from missing chip shots. I'm not talking about no 50 to 65 yarders. He's missing 36 to 46 long field. These should be easy. Absolutely no defending that. Absolutely not. Here Lions is lying in the problem. We got to get somebody that we can trust. And I don't know if you just saw that list I put up. The problem is I'm not sure what was going on with that. Matt Town says play calling cost them to lose the game. Partially. Probably. Again, Koo's kick was humongous. But I think we should have had that game won way before. Way before. Wayne Haynes in the house. What's going on, man? He said Tampa Bay drafted a receiver in the first round is already paying off. It is. I mean, but listen. Tampa Bay is getting ready to switch over. In about 3 years, you're going to have – I don't even think Godwin will be there. I think you're going to have my man yesterday from Ohio State and McMillan out there running the show. I think Godwin, with these injuries that keep popping up, I know they paid him a lot of money. I think he's going to be one of those cats that you're going to look at and say, I'm going to give you one more year, brother. But we got to move on. Got to move on. Hey, my brother Knight Rider's in the house, man. What's going on? Good to see you in the house. He said Zach Robinson deserves a side eye as well. No, he don't deserve a side eye. He deserves not only side eye, front eye, back eye, and a black eye for some of the stuff he was doing yesterday. Again, Knight Rider, if you remember, after Bijan scored that touchdown, our defense had 2 3-and-outs. And they gave us the ball back, and we go to this pedestrian type play calling. And I know most stuff is scripted, but I just say, man, you got to step on necks at that time. And it's still Tampa Bay. That's still the division, defending division champs 4 years running. We can't act like, oh, we can go business as usual, man. Do something different. It really wasn't like they were stopping Michael Penix. We don't want Michael throwing 42 times all the time because that's not the plan. But sometimes, if they just giving it to you, I watched the game. Oh Lord, who was it? What game was I watching? But But they just kept throwing the ball, and they were just like, okay, y'all ain't gonna stop it. The Chargers. The Chargers against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the what? 8-time back, whatever, division winners. And you know what the Chargers did when the Chiefs tried to come close? The Chargers didn't even try to pretend to run the ball. Kansas City couldn't stop their pass game. So guess what he did? When you're supposed to be running out the clock, he was throwing short passes. He was throwing some nice passes down there. Sometimes you got to, as a play caller, you got to see what's going on, man. You gave him too many chances. Dan Man says, I was responding to someone. Oh, okay. My bad. Hey, man. Man, y'all got to say that, too, because, I don't. Y'all got to say, Steve. No, or either call out who you calling out. Because I wasn't getting defensive. I was just like, dang, I know I didn't defend cool. I'm just saying, my only thing was I was saying there were different things. I got you, brother. I got you. We good. Dexter says we need to be under center more. Yes. Why he keep wanting to operating out of the pistol if you're going to let Penix pull it sometimes? If he never pull it, who's going to respect the fake being if we running it good? Listen, 4th and 1 is not a play that your quarterback needs to be in the pistol. I don't care. And I know we made it one time with Tyler, and that was barely. Dude, with a defensive line doing what Tampa Bay was doing, you were literally just giving them an extra step. Literally. Not right to say, please don't sign Rodrigo Blankenship. Didn't I see him on like a gaming thing? I think I saw him. Now I know he was in the UFL, right? Wasn't he in the UFL this year? Y'all hey, you laughing. He might be somebody they call. Georgia Ties, I don't know. Everyone said fire video and I like that truck. Oh, well, if you like that truck, unfortunately, we have gotten the 2025 version. So that's an old picture. I actually I have a 2025 theme. I'm not going to get rid of the one. I know I appreciate the love for the guys who helped me put that music there. That's an original track and original vocals on that. So I appreciate it. But yeah, we wrapped the truck a little differently for 2025. I'll debut that as soon as we get the new song out. But I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate it. Coolidge Dre said, what's up, Steve? Just got off work, but I'm here, brother. I appreciate you coming. Appreciate everybody else coming. And again, don't forget, as y'all coming in, make sure y'all hit that like button for a brother. We got to get up here in these up here in the stratosphere with some of these subs too, man. Tell your friends. Please make sure you subscribe. I sincerely appreciate whether I agree with you or disagree with you. I truly appreciate the back and forth with the fans, and every comment I try to get to as much as possible. So if I skip something, please don't charge it to my head, not my heart. I'm sorry about that. Not right to say side eye, black eye, blue eye, Lakers in 5. Oh man. Outside, Ricky says, who will be the linebackers covering Pitts this upcoming season? Let me tell you something. And Rick, Pitts, I think is going to be ready this year to do some special things. If we had our real receivers in this game, I think Pitts would have had an even bigger game. But when you come to the end and you see Hodge, and I don't even know who was on the other side, man. But we need our receivers back next week, especially next week. We really do. Armani nephew in the house was to Armani yesterday, man. Absolutely great to see him down there. He said, "What's up, Aunt? The defense did pretty well, and Zach Robinson got to be high because of screen pass to 2 possessions." 2 possession receivers is wild. I guess that's one of them plays that maybe it worked. I don't know, but I don't know. Woo. Larry from the Dixon Way is in here. Larry, again, one of the best live action Atlanta content creators in the space. He covers it all. I'm sure he covered the Falcons game yesterday. If I'm not at the game or anything like that, I always turn my TV down and turn the Dixon Way up. Y'all make sure y'all do the same thing. Hit him up on the Dixon Way on YouTube. And I know he has a plethora of other social media sites. Just make sure y'all check that out and give him a sub over there. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Dimitri says, I mentioned in Tidy's Live last night that we can't have Penix throwing the ball 40 to 50 times and that we have to establish the run game and switch up the playbooks. Now, here's the thing. While I agree with that too, DJ, if you can't run, which was the case yesterday, you do have to have something else in your pocket. So while I agree with that sentiment, we have that type of quarterback that I think you can kind of pull an audible, not a literal audible, but kind of change things up. You got to. DJ also says, also on 3rd and 1 plays, I like to see us run Tyler Algier or do a quarterback sneak push. Yeah, maybe the quarterback sneak, possibly. That's true. And I know we did Tyler on the 1 4th down play. Night Rider says, I think he got cut. I think you might be talking about Blankenship. Maybe. I'm telling you, they're going to pull him in here. They're going to try. Watch. Southside says, Tyler should be the only back touching the ball in short yardage situations. So another vote for Algier to be doing that. Dexter says, let's sign Patterson back for a kicker. He accurate, just can't kick it long. On long kicks, we use Craig, who is garbage juice. You know when you say garbage juice, you know they don't like you. He's been hurting us these last 3 years. And the stats are out there, folks. I mean, it's only so much defending that you're going to be able to do. But, I mean, he's not getting the job done. And he's cost us several games. As Raider Beat says, what's up, Raider Beat? He says, "Koo is poo." I mean, are we going to disagree? He has not been good. Dan says, we're forgetting about our special teams coach. Oh, Lord, yes. Marquise Williams, we need to side eye him too. Yes, sir. Special teams better get, let me tell you something. They are really lucked up. They really, man, especially the punt return. That punt return was huge because they got that ball down there. Was it inside the 30 or inside the 20? And that long punt return, but then the long kickoff. I mean, we didn't even make them work. If we got down there between the 30, and then also, damn, somebody got to tell Koo or whoever in the future is going to be kicking, y'all got to practice kicking the ball in the zone. They told you we were doing that. You don't want a team starting at 35. You don't want a team starting at the 40. So you got to learn how to do that. We got to, special teams need to get the business. Antoine said, Ray had an all right. He did. And he was the only, at least he was one of the only ones left. So I give him credit on that. Iron Mike, what's going on, man? I 100% agree. Koo messed up and probably needs to go, but this was an all-around team loss. It was. There are so many other things I can point to other than Koo, but again, that's still not excusing a professional kicker in the NFL can't miss 44-yard field goals. You can't. And we're getting to the point now where 50-yard field goals are inexcusable. These cats coming out of school kicking these things 55, 60 yards straight. So we got to stop excusing that. He also says special teams failed, offense was spotty, defense gave a huge touchdown. And listen, the defense deserves what they got. They do deserve the criticism, but I am just slightly cautioning to say, but if it was any part of the team that I thought was gonna struggle, it would have been the defense. And it turned out the defense was the best unit on the field yesterday. Yes, despite letting them walk down there and score a touchdown, you expected more out of the offense and definitely expected more out of the special team. Most definitely. TG in the house there, he agreed. Know what for, but I got you, bro. Southside says when it comes to Koo, I'm cool off him Wednesday. The Falcons should hold open trials for kicker. Southside, Raheem said they are bringing veterans in. So hopefully that means that's just not busy talking. If he says, I'm pretty sure they're going to bring it. He said they are bringing veterans in. And they asked him, kind of almost seemed like about Lenny Craig. It almost seemed like he was saying he's still kind of in a development stage. I'm paraphrasing. So as much as that was like the feel-good story of the international player, I don't think we're going to see you might see Lenny Craig still on the team, but I don't think you're going to see him out there anytime soon. Kenneth said, what's up, what's going on? Someone tells Zach that Michael Penix and Cousins completely different people. Let Michael cook using his recipe book. Cool is through. Now, Kenneth, I share that exact same spot. So that's my point. For everybody that wanted to come up with the preseason, we should have done preseason, we should have done. Michael Penix looked like he mid-season form. Yeah, I'm not saying he didn't throw one that could have been interception or whatever, but I know when he got his chance 2 times at the end of the game, one to go down and score a go-ahead touchdown, and one to set up to score the tying field goal, he came to play. And I say, for those of you who didn't hear me earlier, the game should have been over on the play before the kickoff try. I'm sorry, on the field goal try. Penix threw that ball perfectly into the end zone. And if it was anybody else not named Hodge on that side, I think we're walking it off on that play. Go back and look. Y'all don't believe me. I think Penix put that ball where, I mean, if Hodge just keeps running, that was the play. Jamal, what's going on, man? Jamal ATL 404 says, I've been saying I don't trust Koo, and if the game came down in field goal, we would be in trouble at this point. We might as well roll with Lenny Craig. Now, again, listening to Raheem, it doesn't sound like that's going to be the plan, but it does sound like he's trying to bring some other folks in here. And look, as Dan said earlier, that's a lot of money we paying Koo. We are paying him a lot of money, and you not getting results. You got to get him up out of here. Antonio, what's going on? He said, do you think we need to call Morton Anderson to see if he got anything left in the tank? Shoot. I take more. I take more over what we got right now. Morton Anderson. Is that crazy that Morton Anderson never seemed to miss those type of field goals? If it didn't have a 5 on the top of it, and he hit a lot of 50s, but man, if Morton didn't have a 2-digit with 5 on it, he hit everything. What happened to those days? We just don't have those kickers anymore, man. Alberto Molina, what's going on? How you doing, man? Good to see you back into the lounge. He said, I hate to be saying this, but what if we don't make the playoffs, which is the goal? Well, we don't make the playoffs, and that's a long way away. I think you're going to see some changes up top. I still tend to believe, folks, and I'll say this. We ran into a good team yesterday that we started the season. I know how important it was. It is what it is. Folks, Tampa Bay is one of the top 4 teams in the NFC. People don't want to say it, but they are. They keep coming back. We can keep trying to shade Baker Mayfield as much as we want to. Baker Mayfield keep coming, and it's not just us. They keep making the playoffs. Sometimes they win, sometimes they go out. But until then, they are our kryptonite. Remember about 7, 8 years ago, we were saying the same thing about New Orleans. It's kind of that same thing right now. We got to get over that hump. One game does not make a season, but you do have to get over that hump. Georgia, Texas boy in the house. What's going on? He said, do you think Arthur Blank needs to approve Justin Tucker coming to Atlanta? I don't think Justin Tucker can play anyway. And somebody, I think he's on the exempt list. I don't even think he can play even if he was available. I think they put him on the exempt list because, listen, remember, y'all, there's precedent with the Deshaun Watson stuff. So I don't think Justin could come anyway. And even if Justin wanted to play, Justin gonna sit out for a while. He's got a long way. Just last thing on Justin Tucker's mind is that, and let's not act like Justin Tucker was hitting everything when he was leaving. Justin Tucker struggled right before he ran into his issues. He struggled last year. Sean says, I feel great about my fandom. It will get better. Remember, Cousins was in the pistol in the beginning and changed to being under center. Yeah. Yep. Titus says, yeah, Penix squashed that. Should have played preseason talk. That's right. Kid looked sharp and ready. And I think that's what Raheem was trying to say. Look, we can go back and nitpick the whole situation about paying all the money to Cousins, whatever. But you know what? As fans, we were all screaming. We didn't want another year of Mariota. We didn't want another year of our other buddy that we love so much.
I love that spin.
We wanted to get a new quarterback, so we invested in that. We also knew he was coming off an Achilles. And maybe he is. I'm telling you, I think Kirk Cousins might be healthy now. Now, judging by the way Penix look, he ain't going to get on the field, and hopefully, knock on wood, he won't. But, we'll see. But no, Penix looks ready. Ricky says, Penix is clutch. This isn't me talking, just this game. No, man, bruh. Anybody, and if you listen to the pundits, that was what the Atlanta-Tampa game, and I'm sure everybody will talk about Buffalo's comeback, which is crazy. That's a whole nother story for another stream. For Lamar. That was one of the best games yesterday, Tampa-Atlanta. And maybe we're playing one of the better teams. So let's see what happens against Minnesota. We got a tough top end of the schedule. Let's see how we come out. Jamal says Zach Robinson has got to be better, especially with this being his second year. But at the same time, he has shown the ability to improve during the season. He's got to get it done this year. No excuse. I agree. Georgia, Texas boys say, yes, the offense and defense came out on fire. Just have to sustain it. David says Penix Jr. tried his best to save us. He did. He tried. Bobby says, in all honesty, we can't knock a 3-point loss and justify seasonal failures because of it. We got 17 more games to prove efficiency. Don't give up. I agree. Georgia, Texas boy said we brought in Ben Sauls today. Okay. Zante Robinson says, call him how his last name is pronounced. Youngway. His actual name is Koo. I'm going to let y'all get away with y'all sayings of his name. I ain't going there. But going back to what Bobby was saying about this season and being near the end, being at the beginning, football, what makes football probably the most anticipated sport and probably the most popular because you only get 17 of them a year. And yes, you want to win more than you lose. But when you lose one, it really does feel much bigger than it really is. Now, if we get into game 5 and we 1-4 and Lord knows we have a goose egg, yeah, you probably need to worry. Folks, there's a chance you could go on the road and lose to Minnesota too. And guess what? It still won't be over. I know the stat, as soon as the 0-2 stat, everybody will come up. There's a 20% chance the teams are 0-2. Well, it happens a lot. So I don't want to throw the whole season away, but at the same time, it's a lot of season left. A lot of season. Rick says Craig is an accurate 50 yards and then bring Money Matt back for 1 year. But remember we brought Money Matt back that one time and he kicked worse than he did on the way out. Matt couldn't hit anything when we brought him back. If you remember, Matt Bryant was horrible. Then that's when we eventually got cool, wasn't it? No, we got the little Italian, the guy that had the Italian name. Y'all get my memory right? It was the little Italian dude. Then Cool came the next year. James says, any news on Drake? Is he out for a while? For right now, Ian Rappaport is the only person that I heard to come out and say that he was diagnosed with a shoulder sprain and that they're probably going to be day to day. But again, even in the press conference today, James, Raheem, they're not obligated to tell you the injuries. I think if it was worse, he would have mentioned it. So the fact that he didn't mention it might be pretty good. Georgia Texas boy pretty much backed up what I was saying. Jamal says, I feel much better this year than last year after game one. Last year, we couldn't even score a touchdown. Yeah, we looked much better overall. We scored that one touch that Pitts, ironically, Pitt scored the first touchdown of the year last year, if y'all remember. He scored the very first touchdown. Southside says Baker is a dog for real. He underrated. Yep. I think, and again, remember, Baker Mayfield was like a punching bag at first. There was a lot of folks that, still thinking he was back in his Cleveland days. So, Carl says, worried about the kicker, better be worried about if the Falcons can get sacks with a 4-man rush. I 100% agree with you. Though, I will say, on some of the runs that the pressure is getting there, so now you got another problem. Now you got to have, you have to contain because Baker's one of those guys that can get loose. And guess what? This guy that we're playing next week, as you saw in college, he likes to get loose too. We got to just start paying attention, man. Bobby says, great point. We need to start being somebody's kryptonite ourselves and stop being the recipient of these other NFC South teams. Agreed. Rick says, I was planning Kurt's demise the minute we drafted him. Oh, it was a perfect plan, though. I said the whole time when everybody else was screaming about who else we should have got, I was saying to myself, that was the perfect pick. Michael Penix, and then see what happens with Kurt. And thank goodness we got to do it early. Willie Dot says Penix may have been ready, but you still need more preseason simulation. I'm not saying, well, okay, but I'm going to go here. These scrimmages that they have, and I understand, they kind of control them and stuff, but most of the starters play in those scrimmages. And here's the thing, Willie. In about 2 or 3 more years, when the collective bargaining agreement comes, they're going to go to 18 games. And guess what? It's going to be 2 preseason games. So I'm not sure if you're going to say, let me take a chance on my folks getting hurt. I know we shouldn't do that in football. I know people going to get hurt. But I do feel like if you think your guy is ready and doesn't need any preseason. All right, let's flip it. Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow played in 2 of the 3 preseason games. Look great. Look awesome. Nobody can deny that, like, oh man, he's in mid-season form. Did y'all see the game that Joe Burrow had yesterday? Joe Burrow looked awful. Now I know Cleveland's defense got a lot to do with that, but it's just not an automatic. I guess that's what I'm saying. Desi said that was a perfect throw to Hodge. Penix tried the downplay it, saying he usually wait a little long. No, bro. That was you're absolutely right, Desi. It was a dime. And if he got his head up and look, And you even listen, yesterday, because obviously I was at the game and I got a chance to listen to the commentator. If you listen to the commentator, he'll tell you. He's like, oh man, that ball was right there. If he turns his head, Dexter, it's either gonna be a touchdown or old boy is gonna have to do a pass interference on him. One or two. Then you would have had what, 6 seconds? And that would have gave you 2 chances at the end zone. Well, 1 chance at the end zone, then you come in and kick the field goal. And I'm not blaming Hodge per se, but I'm saying if we had a starting wide receiver in there, we'd be in a much better situation. Armani says Penix is the guy. I am highly convinced, no doubt. Anyone said, what do you think about bringing in OJB or Dante Johnson? You know, Deontay Johnson, man, that's kind of a little bit of go away juice with him, man. That's something that keeps making him jump. And when he got cut by the Panthers last year, and then who was it that he was having issues with? Was it the Ravens and everything? Something about that. Now, don't get me wrong. If we end up needing receivers, we need receivers, but I'm not sure I'd go him. Now, OBJ, that's a whole nother story. If he feels like he can do something, but you know, OBJ be waiting for like week 8. So he don't have to go through all the practice and everything like that. Willie Dot said, but I will say we got to finish season strong. Still optimistic. There you go. George Texas said, yeah, we got cool from the XFL. Yep. Yeah, Gino. Yeah, something like that. The kicker. It was an Italian name. I can't remember what the dude's name is, but that was the dude we had when we had all the troubles. We had it was Matt Bryant. We cut Matt Bryant. Then we brought in the little Italian cat. He was good for a minute, and then he started missing stuff. Dwayne, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? He said, what's up, Uncle Steve? I have to say, every year we say it's only one game. I'm sick of saying that. With the talent we have, we should have at least went into overtime. You know, and trust me, I hear you loud and clear, but sometimes it is what it is, man. You lose the game, and I'm trying to see all the teams that lost. As a matter of fact, out of the home teams, I think the home teams lost 8 of the games yesterday. So the teams that lost this week, Cowboys, Chiefs, Falcons, Browns, Dolphins, Patriots, Saints, Jets, Giants, Panthers, Titans, Seahawks, Lions, Texans, and Ravens. Now, about 4 of those teams are probably going to be in the mix. So, again, I understand it does get repetitious. You know, you don't want to keep saying it's just one game. But, Dwayne, it's either that. I mean, but you can't stop the season. And you can't come out and just say, oh, we lost this game. We made some mistakes. Ain't no need to go through the rest of the season. That's ridiculous. We gotta fight through that as fans. You have to fight through that. If you were at that game yesterday, I'm with you. Minutes afterward, my stomach was sick. The mood was quiet. It was ridiculous. But there's another game on Sunday night. Got to move on. We got to. And speaking of moving on, y'all are so awesome. I'd only planned on trying to stick here for an hour, but whenever I get the love and the comments that y'all send, man, I got to keep going. I appreciate everyone joining me here today. And if y'all don't mind, make sure y'all see if you're seeing this on a replay, make sure you like the video for me. Again, those of you that came in, participated, that's what we like to do, man. We get your thought. We read it on here. We try to have a conversation with you. Every now and then, we'll throw a little live link out there. But for the most part, we try to at least get your thoughts. And I try to answer as many as I can. It might not be rapid fire, but I will give you your love for at least taking the time to type out some characters just to talk to your uncle. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't to the YouTube channel. We will 100% be back at least Sunday. I don't know. We might try to come back before the Minnesota game. We shall see. But I appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. This is Uncle Steve's Lounge. This is the Monday Minutia. We'll do this every Monday after the game day. So I appreciate everyone joining us. Y'all have a great rest of the week, and we will see y'all hopefully after Minnesota revenge game for next year. Y'all take care and have a blessed night.
You're an Uncle Steve.